morning, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for tapping back in to see what I have to say. I promise y'all, it truly does mean the world to me. But with that being said, what are we talking about? We're talking about this regulatory shift. We're talking about how now you have CEOs getting in alignment with the regulatory shift of things like stable coins with the Genius Act or the Stablecoin Act, the Genius Act coming out of the Senate, the Stablecoin Act coming out of the House. We now have the Clarity Act coming out of the House, which is now market structure regulation. So now we have stablecoin regulation and market structure regulation coming through the American, literally Congress, to be signed into law by Trump before summer ends. Understand what is truly being laid out. Now we have the Uber CEO. And if you say, oh, it's Uber CEO, Uber is the largest employer, on-demand employer in the world. Understand, truly, when world leaders start saying things like stable coins or talking about things like autonomous vehicles, truly, especially when you are a Uber and now you do have autonomous vehicles in my city, you're working alongside of Waymo and I see them every day flowing through my city with no one in the driver's seat. Understand these autonomous processes will be built on top of distributed ledger technologies because it gives it a source of truth and a source of tracking. Follow me. If something like an accident happened, trust me, follow me when I tell you, when powerful people speak, listen, because he also talks about stable coins. And if you are one of the largest employers in the world, that means you have one of the largest pay networks in the world. And now you're talking about stable coin, which means that right now you're using them for your cross-border payments and settlements and remittance. When it comes law, when the Genius Act and the Stablecoin Act eventually becomes law, then you'll be able to operate in the realm of paying people with stable coins. Trust me when I told you in that video before, it's coming where your bank account will one day hold stable coins and tokenized deposits in your digital wallets. Follow me when I'm telling you, because this shift is happening. But here we go. This first video, it is the Uber CEO. He's first talking about autonomous vehicles, the usage of them, and I will be right back.
Support the AV ecosystem and continue to help that ecosystem develop and then AVs penetrate into the marketplace. AV, we think, represents a safer way of transportation. Ultimately, we think it'll expand the marketplace as it makes kind of safe transportation in cities available to everybody. So we're big fans of AV. And generally, we're working with multiple partners in the ecosystem, Waymo, for example, in Austin and Atlanta coming up, Wave, Avri. There are probably 18 partnerships that we have in the AV ecosystem. And we want to help these players develop by investing in them in some cases, but really by working with them to bring their product to market. These are technologies that are unbelievably promising, but they've taken billions of dollars to develop and 10 plus years. And it's one of those overnight successes that's kind of taken 20 years of development, but it's finally ready to hit market, and we want to help the ecosystem get there. Separately, we have large stakes in many companies,
yes,
well over $5 billion, that we think we can take some of those stakes and essentially recycle them into additional investments in the AV ecosystem. So over a period of time, we'll get it right. We've got a ton of free cash flow of the company. So one way or the other, the goal is to build up the AV ecosystem around our network.
Build up an increasingly AV future. I know you've been asked about this before, but what are some of the new ways that you're seeking to overcome that challenge of reassuring drivers who are still an incredibly important part of your ecosystem,
very much
that
so.
You have their backs, but we also love these Waymos that have no driver in them?
Very much so. So one is growth helps a lot, right? So our business is growing almost 20% a year. And on average, we're going to need more drivers on the platform for the next couple of years. And I see that continuing for some period of time. So I think drivers generally on our platform are going to be more busy, are going to have more to do, and the number of drivers on our platform and couriers on our platform is going to grow. That's one. The second, though, is we're putting significant efforts in creating more work and earnings opportunities for drivers and couriers, right? We started with driving, we went to delivery. Now you can actually shop, and there's a subsegment of couriers, et cetera, who will love their local Walmart, for example, or Albertsons, and shop in those stores. Or for Walmart, we deliver those packages. And now we're actually going further, where we're developing now what we call Uber AI solutions, where drivers are actually now labeling maps, translating language, looking at AI answers and grading AI answers. So, one way to look at Uber is that we are essentially a transportation platform. We'll help you go anywhere, get anything. Another way to look at Uber is that we are the largest on-demand work platform on Earth. And the first use case for us is actually transportation. And now we're expanding use cases into other use cases, and knowledge work is one of them. So I think as long as we grow, as long as we are honest with our drivers and couriers in terms of their expectations, and now expand the number of opportunities to them, I think we'll be more than fine.
You're actually getting your drivers, you're encouraging your drivers to help the AI and make it smarter, the AI that's going to ultimately put them out of a job.
It's going to be a part of our life going forward, and it's good work, and certainly our drivers are qualified to do it.
How
Nobody in that mode. It's empty. Let's see what it do when the light turn green. It's a long light. Now you just heard directly from the Uber CEO. And he really oops and said the quiet part out loud, which is we now have the drivers training this AI because one day it's going to take their job. So yeah, the next 1, 2, 3 years, and if you listen to my videos, that falls right into alignment with 2028 CBDCs, digital currencies, digital wallets. Understand what's coming because it's already been laid out. They're saying the quiet parts out loud now. Follow me. But in this next video, we're getting ready to talk about stable coins. The next part of this interview, he mentioned stable coins. Trust me, this regulatory shift that is happening, everyone is getting in alignment. They have done their sandboxes, they have done their proof of concepts, and they are now ready to go live. Mainnet, us, the true global economy, you and me, as far as retail, everything when it comes to fast food, when it comes to paying bills, when it comes to your paychecks, when it comes to going on Amazon and purchasing things, all of these massive amounts of transactions that the globe does daily is now moving to blockchain. Follow me on this because I'm always going somewhere, and I'll be right back.
understand that you are considering stablecoin as a vehicle for Uber. Talk about where your considerations are and how that might benefit your business.
Yeah, we're still in the study phase, I'd say, but I think stablecoin is one of the, for me, more interesting instantiations of crypto that has a practical benefit other than crypto as a store of value. You know, obviously, you can have your opinions on Bitcoin, but it's a proven commodity. And you know, people have different opinions on where it's going. But I do think that stablecoin is quite promising, especially for global companies that are moving money around globally to create a mechanism for us to essentially reduce costs in terms of moving money internationally. So that's super interesting to us, and we're definitely going to take a look.
Now, you just heard him mention stablecoins. Truly understand that this is now in alignment with what's going on in the US, which is what's going on in the EU, which is what's going on in the UK, with what's going on in Qatar, with what's going on in China, with what's going on in Russia, with what's going on in India, with what's going on in Saudi Arabia. Understand, this is a global effort that is happening simultaneously in unison. Follow me what I'm telling you about the realm of Web3 and some of these players that are facilitating global infrastructure like a Quant, like a Hedera, like a Ripple and XRP, like a XLM, like a XDC, like a DAG, like a Jasmine, like a VeChain. Understand, like a ADA. Understand, like a Algorand. Understand what is truly being laid out right in front of our faces. And for us to have been in front of the institutional adoption of this technology is incredible. The bull runs that we will see moving forward are going to be monumental, because we're going to have trillions of dollars flowing through the networks, because it is being ran just like today's economies are ran, with quadrillions of dollars flowing through it. Things like the DTCC with $3.7 quadrillion dollars settled last year. Understand what is truly happening. Okay, you guys, for real, I thank y'all for tuning in. And I thank y'all for tapping in. And until the next time, y'all already know I appreciate y'all. And if you made it all the way through this entire video, type in the word Uber, because you don't want to be Ubered into your next level of life. You want to be chauffeured into the next level of your life. I appreciate y'all. I really, truly do. Until the next time. Peace out.